from the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast.
New trade retaliation from China? Sorghum is its newest target. Plus, NAFTA talks continue. And agribusiness sizing up the cotton market.
The gins have really worked the last couple of months. I think there's still work to do, but they're getting caught up with this big harvest we've had.
And step inside what's being called the world's largest cotton gin. And of course, it's in Texas.
AgDay, brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road.
Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. What do washing machines and solar panels have to do with sorghum? Well, in the confines of global trade, it's called tit for tat. China announcing it has launched an anti-dumping probe of U.S. sorghum. China's Ministry of Commerce believes the grain is being exported to China at improperly low prices. A government spokesperson says the investigation is a normal individual case of trade remedy. But the trade analysts believe it could be retaliation for Washington's investigation of Chinese steel and other goods. 2 weeks ago, the Trump administration approved tariffs on imported solar energy panels from China in a bid to help U.S. manufacturers. Most imported solar modules face a 30% tariff. The White House also announcing similar tariffs against Chinese-made washing machines. In response, National Sorghum Producers CEO Tim Lust releasing the following statement. National Sorghum Producers is aware of this action and is prepared to participate fully in the investigations. U.S. sorghum farmers do not dump our products into China or elsewhere, and our products are not unfairly subsidized. A fair proceeding will demonstrate these facts. Lust says the investigation is expected to last a year or more. China has been a major market for U.S. sorghum. Since 2013, the U.S. has shipped nearly 1 billion bushels across the Pacific. Demand has been so strong that at the end of 2017, the national sorghum producers were hoping to see acreage go up.
Saw a small back off in acres this year, and I think as that became more apparent, certainly as the demand was still there, we certainly saw that push in price at harvest, which is obviously not traditional and something that I think will send a good message as we go into 2018 in terms of our need for continued acres.
Now to NAFTA. Mexico's foreign minister says his government sees ongoing NAFTA negotiations as a win-win-win for all three countries. Speaking at a joint news conference with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and Canadian Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland, Mexico's chief diplomat said that Mexico does not see the renegotiation effort as a zero-sum game. Canada concurs.
And here I will echo Secretary Videgaray and say we believe in a win-win-win outcome, and I'm very hopeful that we can get there.
Meanwhile, Mexico has had well-known disagreements with President Trump during the past year over trade, immigration, and payment for a proposed border wall. Still, Mexico's Foreign Relations Secretary adding that the relationship with the U.S. is closer than before.
With the Trump administration, we've committed to have a very close communication, and that has proven to be a tremendous benefit for the relationship. I think that in many ways, the relationship today is more fluid. It's closer than it was with previous administrations, which might be surprising to some people, but that's a fact of life.
Mexico's foreign minister credits Secretary of State Rex Tillerson for his role in bringing the two countries closer. Trade is a major part of the farm economy, a topic USDA Secretary Sonny Perdue will be discussing with the House Ag Committee later today. His State of U.S. Agriculture is likely to include farm income forecast for 2018 and questions about the president's pending fiscal 2019 budget. Washington watchers expect it will include significant proposals to cut crop insurance spending. Now on Wednesday, USDA will officially release its farm income estimates. Last year's $63 billion net farm income tally finding some stability thanks to price strength in the livestock sector.
The credit climate for the beef industry looks good right now. Coming off record profits or near record profits is always a good thing. There's still optimism in the market, but should be cautious at the same time, but 18 should be favorable for most producers.
Even though every cattle operation is different, Alt says most in the cattle industry are seeing comparable profits to the highs in 2014. In some instances, those in the cattle business are seeing even slightly better profits than that year. When asked if the Farm Bill could get done without SNAP, Moran says he cautions colleagues it would be a short-sighted decision. to remove nutrition programs like SNAP from the Farm Bill. He says if lawmakers undo SNAP, the chances of getting a Farm Bill completed begins to lessen. With numerous lawsuits filed in multiple states over the herbicide dicamba, a panel of judges has decided to move those cases to one location, federal court in St. Louis. The 11 lawsuits come from Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, and Illinois. The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette reports the U.S. Judicial Panel on Multi-District Litigation made the decision. The lawsuits argue essentially the same thing, that the makers of dicamba are responsible for damage caused by the herbicide to their crops, especially soybeans. It's a Tale of Two forecast. Mike Hoffman explains in today's Crop Comments. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Clinton. We'll start off in sunny Maricopa, Arizona near Phoenix. This is a snap of the Penal Feeding Company, one of the largest cattle feeding operations in the Southwest. Highs are lingering in the 80s for the whole week. Very hot for this time of the year. It's a different story for these cattle in Scottsville, Virginia. Peanut Coleman says this calf is warming up in the barn after being born in the freezing rain and sleet over the weekend. Both seem to be doing well, however. And taking a look at the wind speed forecast, not a lot as we start today, but storm systems are going to develop, so the wind starts to develop in the western states up and down the eastern portions of the Rockies. And then by tomorrow, you can see two systems, one over the Central Plains, one over the Gulf Coast, into the southeast, and that will continue to move toward the northeast, so it gets kind of windy as we head through the day tomorrow. We'll talk more about your forecast coming up, but first here are some hometown temps.
Ag Day, brought to you by Top Third Ag Marketing. Farmer first with a plan for every market.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at cotton markets and the recent pullback in prices. And later, an increase in acres has this Texas cotton gin in expansion mode. We'll tour the world's largest today on In the Country.
With a uniquely powerful formulation of proven ingredients, Resicor corn herbicide gives you extraordinary power.
Who wants dessert?
At least when it comes to weeds.
Oh, Mom's coming over.
Super.
She knows you do that.
Resicor herbicide, power over weeds.
What's that? That's the crown of higher profit. We claimed it with Prosaro.
Season after season, Prosaro fungicide's unique combination of fast action and long residual vanquishes leaf and head diseases and maximizes grain quality and yield like no other.
Richard, are you going on about Prosaro again?
Of course I am. It's the #1 reducer of scab. When grain quality and yield rule, profit reigns. Prosaro.
Making it through the cotton season takes an inner strength. In you and in your crop. It's always been that way for growers who know the art of growing cotton. And when you plant Stoneville, our science keeps delivering early season vigor, which leads to in-season strength and high yield potential at harvest. Combine our science with your art and start strong with Stoneville. Our science for your art. Now with Copio Prime.
Grow your incentives, not weeds. Earn an additional $6 per acre in cash back when you apply XtendiMax herbicide with Vapor Grip technology on your Roundup Ready 2 Xtend soybeans, along with endorsed herbicides from Roundup Ready Plus Crop Management Solutions. Now you have the right tools to manage weeds and your bottom line. Visit GrowYourIncentives.com to see your total incentives opportunity and learn how you can also earn cash back on your cotton acres.
In agribusiness, financial markets fighting to stem losses most of the day Monday. Let's see how that impacted commodities from our friends on the floor of the CME in Chicago.
Cattle was easier. It seemed that beef prices were expected to slide somewhat over the next few weeks And that's kind of happening right now. However, there has been an increase in the long positions by some commercial traders, and so that could definitely counter the market, and that's why it's keeping it relatively buoyant. However, there was a big sell-off in the stock market today towards the end of the day, and that really put a bearish sentiment across all markets. The soybeans were down. The easing in the weather concerns in Argentina really started to press this market to a 2-week low. Plus, we're looking at if there is really any crop damage in Argentina, it's going to be offset by the increase in Brazil because things are going well there. What happened was the market was a little bit lower early and not really moving, and then once the stock market slipped down about 450 points rather quickly, it just seems the sentiment across all trading markets started to go to the sell side, and soybeans was dropping about almost 7 or 8 cents, taking all the grains with them. So that's all from the floor at the CME Group. Here in Chicago, I'm Virginia McGathy.
Here at the Agribusiness Desk, we have John Payne, writes a newsletter, This Week in Grain and Oilseeds. John, let's talk about this cotton market, because for a few weeks there, at the start of the year, boy, were we hot. I mean, it was really moving upwards. Now, over the last week or so, we've seen things kind of pull back a little bit. What's your take on what's happening?
My take is the gin industry is kind of caught up.
Okay.
So we get into the end of the crop marketing year. We had carryout that had really dwindled throughout the summer as demand was strong. And then at the beginning of the harvest, and as the gin started to fill up, we had all these hands go up from overseas, Indonesia, Pakistan, Vietnam, saying, hey, we want product, and we're willing to pay for it. And basically, the price spiked to try to get some of those sales slowed. And the result effect is the gins have really worked the last couple of months. I think there's still work to do, but they're getting caught up with this big harvest we've had. And as we go into March delivery here, you're just simply seeing, demand meeting supply.
Sure.
And March is really not trading well against May. So I think a lot of the spec longs are starting to bail out of the March, get into the May. I do think there's some upside here, but a lot of it's more due to government factors, growth, and things like that. I think the acreage and the fundamentals are weak, but as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, that really hasn't mattered.
Yeah, is 70 to 75 cent cotton enough to pull more acres as we get into 2018?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've got producers I work with down in Southwest Kansas, out there, who are, they're going to be planting circles of cotton, and it's an amazing phenomenon you're seeing, but it's what's making money for them, and I think it depends on quality, of course, and how much yield you can produce, but it certainly beats trying to throw a loser after the wheat, and a lot of them have thrown the towel in on the wheat market, and with corn prices where they are, not that attractive, and they can't really go beans. So, if they're not going Milo, which Milo is something I think a lot of guys should think about.
Sure.
Cotton has been this alternative, and I think in the Southeast you're going to see guys shift to cotton, and I think in that kind of North Panhandle area, you'll see that as well.
You'll see that as well.
Yeah.
You'll see it continue on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a good perspective. Of course, it's always weather dependent. We appreciate your
As
insights.
always.
Thanks. We'll be back with more AgDay in just a minute.
To find John's newsletter, This Week in Grain and Oilseeds, head over to www.thisweekingrain.com. AgDay, brought to you by Instinct and N-Serve nitrogen stabilizers. They don't just stabilize nitrogen, they maximize it, so crops deliver the max in return. Learn more at maxinmaxout.com.
In life, when you put the max in, you get the max out. It's no different for your corn, which is why 40 years of effort have gone into proving that Instinct and N-Serve nitrogen stabilizers do more than just stabilize nitrogen, they maximize nitrogen, so your corn gives you the max in return.
I told my seedsman that he needed to pick the products that he thought would do well on my farm, and we knocked the yields out of the park. Best year we've ever had.
It's not just about last year or this year or next year. It's a journey through many years, and I can count on him going forward.
So from the two trucks over here, I want you to pick a new truck for your mom or dad, knowing that they could possibly pass it down to you one day.
Cool.
But before you decide, you should know that Chevy Silverados are the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road, which means that Ford F-150s are not. Which truck would you pick?
The Chevy. The Chevy. The Chevy.
There you go. Boom.
That was obvious. And plus it looks cooler.
No doubt about it. Now they know what to get me.
Weeds are tough. But we're tougher. With unrivaled weed control. Reduced drift. And near zero volatility. So, who's tough now?
Welcome back to AgDay. Meteorologist Mike Hoffman here. Mike, we've had Groundhog Day, we've had the Super Bowl, college basketball is still being played. It's still winter.
It is still winter, and this is going to prove it because these two western low-pressure systems coming together to put down a fair amount of snow over the next couple of days. But you can see this morning there is still an eastern storm system with some light snow up and down the Appalachians into New England today. That front will continue to quickly press eastward off the eastern seaboard. High pressure builds in behind it for a short period of time across the Great Lakes, shutting off the snow there. Rain in the southern Mississippi Valley, snow farther to the north, and as these two systems kind of come together over the next 24 to 36 hours, you can see how we develop these areas of snow. One on the northern fringe of the southern system, the other one moving across the northern plains into the Great Lakes as we head into tomorrow morning, and then those two kind of combine into a pretty big system as it moves into New England with a fair amount of snow. Showers up and down the east coast, down into the southeast and south Texas by late in the day tomorrow. Next storm system coming in out west with some rain and mountain snow. Precipitation estimate over the past 24 hours, a lot of it's been over the central plains from Iowa over into Indiana. Adding in the next 36 hours, you can see the southern system has the most moisture with it. Northern system is mainly snow though, and so that can still put down a few inches of snow even with very little moisture, and you can see some moisture out west. Now a lot of that's in the form of snow as well. Already on the ground, this is the past 24 hours from Iowa into Indiana and Ohio, and then adding in the next 36 hours, we're going to add some more again with these two systems. You can almost see them coming together right there over northern Indiana, and then really putting it down as they come together and put their energies together into the northeast with half a foot or more of snow in many of the inland areas. Temperatures this afternoon, single digits and teens across the northern tier of states, 70s to the southeast. Low temperatures tonight going to stay mild in the southeast, but that's about it. It's going to be cold from north and central Texas for this time of the year all the way to the northern plains, -5 tomorrow morning in Bismarck. And then you can see they stay in the teens across the northern plains as we head through tomorrow afternoon. Chillier air coming into all of the southeast except for Florida. Here's the jet stream. We're still in a very cold weather pattern for the eastern 2/3 of the country, but our model, like it did late last week, is now showing a cutoff going into the southwest. That kind of shuts off the flow of cold air for a short period of time next week. I think it goes back to the cold overall situation as we head through the latter parts of next week, though, so keep that in mind. That's a look across the country. Now let's take a look at some local forecasts. We head to Great Falls, Montana, first of all, cold with a bit of snow early in the day, high of 15 degrees. St. Joseph, Missouri, cloudy with snow at times, high of 19. And finally, Elmira, New York, mostly cloudy, just a bit of snow around, high around 32.
All right, when we come back, it's our dairy report, including an update on EPA's request for air emission information from U.S. dairy farms. And later, everything's bigger in Texas, including its cotton gins.
AgDay, brought to you by Ram Commercial, America's longest-lasting heavy-duty pickups.
No matter what you do, you're always raising the bar. New Delaro fungicide for corn and soybeans can help you get the edge you're looking for. Delaro has a broader spectrum of disease control and best-in-class dual-motive action residual. Plus, it improves plant health, so your top-performing hybrids and varieties will have the protection they need to help you achieve your personal best yields. Delaro fungicide from Bayer. Keep raising the bar.
May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May your
shift. May your heart always be joyful.
Long live devotion.
May you stay.
And long live the truck that keeps it going strong. Ram, America's longest lasting heavy-duty pickups.
There's enough worries facing growers today. SDS and nematodes shouldn't be among them. Alivo seed treatment is the only product that offers effective protection against SDS and nematodes throughout the critical growing period. Growers get amazing early season protection for stronger profit potential at harvest. So worry about your equipment, or weather, or commodity prices. Don't worry about SDS and nematodes with Alivo from Bayer. To find out more about Alivo and how to protect your soybeans this season, visit alivo.bayer.com.
Can't get missed weeds off your mind? You need the powerful weed control of Liberty herbicide, now backed by the Liberty Weed Control Guarantee, the working non-selective that controls your weeds for outstanding yields. Take control of tough weeds and deliver real yields with Liberty Link Seed and Liberty Herbicide, now backed by the Liberty Weed Control Guarantee. Learn how you can qualify at libertyguarantee.bayer.us.
And news from our partners at Farm Journal's Milk. A federal appeals court has granted the Environmental Protection Agency's request to delay air emissions reporting rules at least until May 1st. The EPA wants more time to refine its guidance on who must report and what must be reported. Now, last April, a lower court ruled that farms were required to report air releases of hazardous substances above certain thresholds under 2 federal environmental laws. Meanwhile, California dairy producers will continue to struggle with low milk prices. The State Department of Food and Agriculture Friday denying a request for a hearing to consider increasing California's milk prices. Western United Dairymen and California Dairy Campaign requested the hearings as the two groups push for a temporary price hike for all classes of milk. They'd like to see an increase of 35 cents per hundredweight over the base price. Now, the State Department of Ag says it would be inappropriate to hold the hearing while a federal milk marketing order for California is pending. And could facial recognition change the way dairy cows are managed? Well, that's a bet Cargill is taking. The company investing in an Irish startup using facial recognition software to track how cows milk, eat, and behave. The undisclosed investment amount gives Cargill a minority stake in that business. All right, when we come back, we'll take a tour of what's being dubbed the world's largest cotton gin. We're off to Spearman, Texas, next.
AgDay, brought to you by Corvus, the #1 pre-emergence corn herbicide.
What is the Corvus Zone? It's the one place where grass and broadleaf weeds don't stand a chance. It starts down here, where it counts, but only when you use Corvus, the one corn herbicide that delivers 3 levels of defense: burn down, residual, and reactivation with rain. You want season-long control of the toughest weeds, including resistant ones. Welcome to the Corvus Zone.
Corvus pre-emergence corn herbicide, America's preferred choice.
Grow your incentives, not weeds. Earn an additional $6 per acre in cash back when you apply XtendiMax herbicide with Vapor Grip technology on your Roundup Ready 2 Xtend soybeans, along with endorsed herbicides from Roundup Ready Plus Crop Management Solutions. Now you have the right tools to manage weeds and your bottom line. Visit GrowYourIncentives.com to see your total incentives opportunity.
It's bigger, it's faster, it's easier to use than ever before. Take back your land with the amazing DR Field and Brush Mower. Nothing stops the DR. Thick grass and weeds, out of control brush. Even 3-inch thick trees are no match for America's favorite brush mower. Lock it in and rip it up. Power steering lets you turn on a dime with fingertip control. Clear it out, clean it up, and rediscover the land you've lost. And now, we offer a full line of tow-behind mowers for tractors and ATVs. DR Field and Brush Mowers start at just $1399.99, and free shipping is now in effect.
Call 1-800-513-1242 for a free buyer's guide and DVD. Learn how you can qualify for 0% financing and try a DR on your own property for 6 months. Free shipping is now in effect. That's 1-800-513-1242. Online at drfieldbrush.com.
in the country. Sponsored by Kubota. Tractors, hay tools, utility vehicles, mowers, and more. Visit KubotaUSA.com today.
If cotton is king in Texas, then you better have the king of all cotton gins too. Ed Wolf from the Texas Farm Bureau takes a look inside the largest cotton gin in the U.S.
Everything's bigger in Texas. When it comes to cotton gins, the old saying is true. Adobe Wall's gin near Spearman is now the largest cotton gin in the U.S., and they're not stopping there.
When we do the expansion, they tell us it'll be the biggest gin in the world. That's just what we've been told by the people that, there's only like 4 gin manufacturers, so they know what's everywhere.
Plant 2 came online in December, adding 4 more gin lines to the 5 already running in Plant 1. That's a grand total of 9 stands under one roof, ginning cotton for the upper Texas Panhandle, the most in the country. And when they add 2 more lines before next season, Adobe Walls will be the largest cotton gin in the world. Not bad for an area that didn't have a gin a little over a decade ago.
We started in '06. Cotton started moving up in this country probably in 2004, 2003. Traditionally grain country. Cotton was just creeping north as the varieties got shorter. Nobody really thought we could grow it up here, but they started kind of right on I-40 and then just kept moving north.
Falling grain prices, conserving water, new cotton varieties. These were all factors that transformed this crop from a novelty in this part of the state to so many farmers' bread and butter. Farmers like Justin Garrett. He and his family started growing cotton in 2003. They were instrumental in the vision that would become Adobe Walls.
And we decided just with our farm experience in Spearman that was an area that was going to really explode with cotton. So we figured we better just put our hat in the ring and help build a gin.
They were right. Around 50 farmers threw in together to build the gin. The timing was perfect. Adobe Walls has gone from ginning 60,000 bales at the beginning to 142,000 last year. This year, they'll be close to 300,000.
For the first 6 to 8 years, it was mainly the same growers every year. A few come in, come out, but this year was a wholesale change. We got a lot of people in here that never grown cotton before, and a lot of them that said they never would.
The farmer has to wait until his cotton is ginned before he gets paid, since it depends on how the cotton's graded. Last year it took until March 3rd, but Adobe Walls wants to do it quicker. That's why they built Plant 2. But this year they're looking at twice the amount of cotton as last year. The 2 new lines and new press they'll install before next season will help, allowing them to gin 100 to 120 bales an hour.
10 years ago, there were a lot of naysayers. It's taken a lot of work by a lot of people and a lot of commitment by a lot of farmers to get us to where we are. And nobody went into this deal to be the biggest gin in the U.S. We just want to gin cotton and get it done in a timely manner and turn it to money for these farmers.
As Texas' most northern gin, Adobe Walls even gets some cotton from Oklahoma. But every bale is pressed with that special Texas touch. These panhandle farmers are proud to grow the fabric of Texans' lives. For TFB News, Ed Wolf, Spearman.
Pretty cool stuff. That's all the time we have this morning. We're so glad you tuned in, spent part of your day with us. For Mike Hoffman and all of us here at AgDay, I'm Clinton Griffiths. Have a great day.
AgDay, brought to you by Ram Commercial, America's longest lasting heavy-duty pickups.